Many people think they are escaping poverty because they can now buy things they couldn't afford before. A better cell phone, new clothes, dinner out, a short trip, an affordable payment plan. And then the person breathes and thinks, I'm getting better. I'm getting there. But what if I told you that some of these things aren't signs of progress? What if they're precisely the trap that's keeping you stuck? There's a huge difference between being able to buy more and becoming less vulnerable. And most people who work hard, strive hard, and still don't get anywhere have been confusing these two things for years. Look at the reality for those in this situation. Your salary hits your account, and within 3 days you feel nothing. A minor emergency, a flat tire, a doctor's appointment, a wrong bill, that's enough to trigger panic. The credit card is no longer a tool. It's become an extension of your income, money you don't yet have but have already spent. And at the end of the month, you bought things, felt good for a few days, but still can't sleep peacefully. This is not freedom. This is survival, but with a slightly more expensive appearance. And the most dangerous part? The person in that situation often doesn't realize it. Because they are making an effort. They are trying. They look back and see that they have already overcome a lot. But they look ahead and still feel that weight, that tension, that fear that will never truly go away. In this video, you'll see 5 signs that you're still stuck in poverty, even if you think you're improving. And most importantly, what each sign is trying to show you about where you need to change. If you've stumbled upon this channel and don't yet know it, subscribe to The Money Exposed now. Here, we don't talk about getting rich quick. We talk about the truth about money, financial psychology, and how to finally get out of survival mode. Click subscribe and turn on notifications. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching this from right now? Which city, which state, which country? I want to know who's here with me today.
Sign 1. Your salary arrives, but you never feel in control.
The first sign is one of the most common and one of the most ignored. You receive it. You feel that relief for a few hours, maybe a day. And then the parade begins. Rent, electricity bill, internet, credit card installment, supermarket, overdue bill from last month, transfer you promised, debit you forgot, unexpected expense. And suddenly, you look at your balance and think, how did that go by so fast? The problem here isn't just earning little. The problem is when the money comes in already completely committed, when you don't decide anything, when the month decides for you. There's a difference that few people understand between income and margin. Income is what comes in. Margin is what's left over after real life happens. And those who are starting to escape poverty aren't necessarily those who earn the most. It's those who start to create space between what comes in and what goes out. Even if it's a small amount, even if it takes time, but there is space. There is something under control. Because if you work all month, if you wake up early, put up with your boss, face traffic, sell your time and energy, and at the end of the month you can't hold on to anything, you're not building freedom. You're just keeping the machine running. And the machine isn't yours. The practical approach here is this. Before thinking about investing, before thinking about anything sophisticated, the first goal is to create a margin, even if it's just $10, even if it's $20, an amount that stays, that doesn't go away, that is yours. Poverty begins to lose its power when something remains under your control.
Sign 2. A small emergency can still destroy your life.
The second sign is the one that hurts the most because it appears at the worst times. The refrigerator stops working, the car breaks down the day before work, an urgent doctor's appointment, a bill that came through incorrectly and has already been added to my credit blacklist, a child who needs medicine, a cell phone that breaks. These things aren't catastrophes. They're normal problems of adult life. Everyone goes through them. The question isn't whether they'll happen. The question is what happens in your life when they do. For those with savings, it's an inconvenience. For those without, It's a crisis. And crisis isn't just financial. It's emotional. It's physical. It's asking for money out of embarrassment. It's debt you take on unintentionally. It's sleepless nights. It's relationships that become strained. It's work that leaves you exhausted because your mind hasn't stopped. When there are no savings, a debt becomes a source of shame. And shame accumulated over the years erodes how a person sees themselves, how they make decisions, and their willingness to try again. An emergency fund isn't just idle money. It's peace of mind bought before chaos arrives. It's about not having to humiliate yourself or go into debt to solve a small problem during the most difficult times. The message here is simple, but it needs to be honest. The first emergency fund doesn't need to be fancy. It can be small. It can be slow. It can take months to become something significant, but it needs to exist. The first goal isn't to get rich. It's to keep a small emergency small.
Signal 3. You confuse purchase with progress.
This third sign is the most psychological of all, and probably the hardest to admit. Many people who grew up without money, who spent years unable to buy anything, who watched their families tighten their belts while others around them seemed to have more, these people carry a specific wound. A wound that says, when I can buy it, I'll prove I made it. And when income improves a little, when the credit card is approved, when the installment payment fits, this wound speaks louder than the planning. Buy the cell phone, buy the sneakers, put the furniture on installments, subscribe to streaming, another one, order delivery, organize the short trip, throw a party, give the gift.
And each of these purchases feels like an achievement. It feels like a victory. It feels like you're finally proving you've climbed out of the hole. But here's the confrontation that needs to be made. Not every purchase that seems like a victory is freedom. Some are just a new obligation with a nice appearance. If the purchase increases the installment payment, increases the pressure, increases dependence on the next paycheck, it may be trapping you even more. It may be making you look better on the outside, while you become more vulnerable on the inside.
And this isn't judgment, it's psychology. Those who were taught that progress is measured by what you own will use consumption as proof of progress, until they understand that real progress isn't about looking better, it's about becoming less vulnerable. The practical question that will change a lot is this. Before buying, ask yourself, does this increase my freedom or increase my obligation? If obligations increase, perhaps it's not an achievement. Perhaps it's just another chain with pretty packaging. If this content is making sense to you, help me out here. Leave a like now. This helps the channel grow and get this content to more people who need to hear it. And comment below which of the 3 signs we've seen so far resonated most strongly with you. Seriously, I read the comments.
Sign 4. You avoid looking at your numbers because the truth hurts.
The 4th sign is silent. Nobody talks about it, but almost everyone who's stuck in survival mode experiences it. You don't open your bank app. You don't look at your full credit card statement. You don't add up your debts. You don't write down your expenses. You don't budget. Not because you don't know you should, but because looking seems too much. It seems humiliating. It seems like confirming the numbers will make everything more real and heavier. So you live in uncertainty. You know you're in debt, but you don't know how much. You know you're overspending, but you don't know where. You know the month is tight, but you'd rather not know how much.
And here's the problem. While you're not looking, someone is profiting from your escape. The bank is charging interest you didn't calculate. The installment you didn't add up has become a number you can no longer afford. The app you forgot about is charging you every month. The small expense that seemed insignificant, multiplied by 30, would reveal where the money is going. Avoiding numbers doesn't protect you. It protects those who want to collect from you.
Financial clarity doesn't solve everything at once, but it puts an end to the illusion.
And without clarity, there is no plan. You can't fix what you're not willing to see. The first turning point isn't having a perfect spreadsheet. It's not about having an elaborate method. It's simple. Knowing how much money comes in, knowing how much goes out, knowing how much you owe, knowing how much interest you pay, knowing how much is left over, or how much is missing. 5 numbers. That's all. But those 5 numbers change what you can decide, and decision is where freedom begins.
Sign 5. Every increase in income means a more expensive life.
The 5th sign is the most treacherous because it disguises itself as a reward. You get a raise, you change jobs and earn more, you make extra income, you sell something, and the moment that money arrives, the mind that has lived for years in compensation mode activates the trigger. Now I can. More deliveries, more outings, a payment plan that was previously out of reach now is, a better cell phone plan, an outfit you've wanted for months, a trip you deserved, a celebration that makes sense after so much effort. And 3 months later, with the higher income, you're in the same emotional place, with the same tension, with the same fear of emergencies, with the same feeling that there's never enough money. Only now, you're spending more. This has a name. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the most common reasons why people who earn more remain trapped in the same cycle. The conflict here is straightforward. If every increase in income becomes an increase in appearance, your freedom remains the same. You've only become more expensive, not freer. What lifts someone out of poverty isn't just earning more. It's preventing all that new money from being immediately swallowed up by their lifestyle. The difference between those who escape and those who remain trapped lies precisely in the gap between what comes in and what goes out. The practical approach here is to decide beforehand. When new money comes in, before spending any of it, you decide part goes to savings, part goes to paying off debt, part goes to reducing dependency. Only then part goes to consumption. In that order. Always in that order. If you don't give new money a mission before it reaches your hand, impulse will give it a mission for you. And impulse never chooses freedom. Now, I need to say something important before I finish. If you recognized yourself in any of these signs, I don't want you to leave here feeling bad. I want you to leave here feeling seen. Perhaps you learned to survive, not to build. Maybe no one ever taught you the difference between relief and freedom. Maybe the people around you also live like this, and it always seemed normal. Maybe you're tired not because you're weak or irresponsible, but because living without a safety net tires any human being. It's exhausting. It's heavy. It's a constant effort that most outsiders don't see. You didn't fail. You were operating with the tools you had. But now you have different information, and information changes what you can do. The point now is not to transform pain into guilt. It's to transform pain into direction. So let's recap the 5 signs. Your paycheck arrives, but you never feel in control because the money comes in with pre-existing commitments and you have no leeway. Even a small emergency can ruin your life because without a reserve, any problem turns into a crisis. You confuse purchasing power with progress because you were taught that having more is proof that you've won, but obligation is not achievement. You avoid looking at your numbers because avoiding the numbers protects those who want to collect from you, not you. Every increase in income translates into a more expensive life because without direction, new money becomes a lifestyle, not freedom. You don't need to look rich. You need to be less vulnerable. You don't need to impress anyone. You need to get better sleep. You don't need to change everything this week. You need to create that first small margin between yourself and chaos. Because it's from that margin that everything begins. Not from a huge salary, not from a perfect investment. From a margin. from a small space where you can breathe and fear doesn't enter. Now, tell me in the comments, which of the 5 signs resonated most strongly with you? Which one do you feel is most present in your life right now? Because that's probably the first one you need to face. Write it below. I'll read it. And if you also leave a like before you go, you'll help this content reach more people who need to hear this today. And if you want to continue learning how to use money to buy peace, time, and freedom, and not appearances, sign up for the Money Exposed now. There are no easy promises here. There is truth, there is psychology, there is real guidance. The next video is playing on the screen now. It picks up exactly where this one left off. Go watch it.